everyone, my name is Lucky Chittapalli, and today we will be learning how to find the horizontal and vertical asymptotes of a function. So, to start off, what is a horizontal and vertical asymptote? Well, horizontal asymptotes are horizontal lines that the graph of a function approaches as x approaches positive or negative infinity, whereas vertical asymptotes are vertical lines that are perpendicular to the x-axis, near which the function grows without bound. Let's start with an example. To find the vertical asymptote of this function, we have to take a look at the denominator. So we have to see what x needs to equal in order for the denominator to equal 0. So x plus 1 should equal 0. So in this case, x should equal negative 1, because 1 minus 1 is 0. Therefore, our vertical asymptote for this function is negative 1. Let's take another example. So f of x equals 5x cubed plus 4x squared plus 3x over x minus 8. So if we want to find the vertical asymptote, we have to make the denominator equal 0. So in our case, x minus 8 should equal 0. So x should equal 8, because 8 minus 8 equals 0. Therefore, our vertical asymptote would be 8. Now, let's try f of x equals x minus 2 over 5x times the quantity of x plus 1. Once again, if we need to find the vertical asymptote, we need to make the denominator equal 0. So let's write this out. 5x times the quantity of x plus 1 should equal 0. So, in our case, we would get 5x equals 0 and x plus 1 equals 0. So, we'd get x equals 0 because we divide 5 by both sides, so we'll get x equals 0, and we would also get x equals negative 1 because 1 minus 1 is 0. So in our case, we're getting two asymptotes instead of one. So our vertical asymptotes would be 0 and negative 1. Let's try another vertical asymptote problem. So if our function is f of x equals 9x squared minus 8x over the quantity of x plus 4 times the quantity of x minus 2. Last time, we need to make the denominator equal 0, so let's write that out. X plus 4 times x minus 2 should equal 0, so we can write out x plus 4 equals 0 and x minus 2 equals 0. We would then get x equals negative 4 because 4 minus 4 is 0, and x equals 2 because 2 minus 2 is 0. So our vertical asymptotes would be negative 4 and 2. Now let's find the horizontal asymptote. So we see in f of x equals x to the 4th minus 3x over x squared plus 3, we see that the degree in the numerator is greater than the degree in the denominator. If that's the case, that would mean there is no horizontal asymptote. So just remember, if it's top-heavy, there's no horizontal asymptote. Now in this function, we have f of x equals x squared minus 3 over x fourth plus 3. So, we see that the degree in the numerator is less than the degree in the denominator. If that's the case, we get the horizontal asymptote to be 0. So just know that if it's bottom heavy, then the horizontal asymptote will always equal 0. Y equals 0. In this function, f of x equals 6x to the fifth minus 4x to the fourth minus 3 over negative 3x to the fifth plus 6x. We see that the degree of both the numerator and the denominator is equal. Since this is the case, we would actually take the coefficients of the variable of the highest degree from the numerator and denominator and divide them. So we get y equals 6 over negative 3, and that would equal negative 2. So our horizontal asymptote is negative 2. So from here, just remember, if the highest power of both the numerator and denominator are equal, you just take the coefficient of those variables and divide them to get the horizontal asymptote. Thank you for watching my video about how to find the horizontal and vertical asymptotes of a function. I hope you learned.